You tweeted this out, and I just wanted to end our conversation talking a little bit about Israel. You said breaking exclusive General Flynn responds to Netanyahu's leaked plan to ship Gaza war refugees to Western nations. Former head of the Defense Intelligence Agency, General Michael Flynn, gives his analysis of this extremely dangerous development and also calls out Netanyahu and the Israeli military leadership for clearly standing down during the Hamas attacks of October 7th. So go ahead and speak about that.
Well, I mean, I'm not telling anybody anything that they didn't know. I've seen you talk about it. I talked about it on October 7th. Israel, a couple days ago, in a 60-second rescue, grabbed a bunch of hostages while they were being shot at, flew into Gaza from Israel in 60 seconds, saved them, and got out. Okay, so Israel probably does have the best border defenses in the world, hands down. General Flynn's been there. He's toured it. He said clearly they probably got the best. And they've got multiple 3-4 layers and all these cameras and all these weapons. And Israel, is tiny, and you can drive from end to end of Israel, even on the windy roads, in like an hour. And from the Golan Heights in the north all the way down to the south by Gaza and the southern zone. And so a bunch of Israeli retired soldiers who were in the north got down there in 45 minutes in their cars, and they helped. But somebody had a bunch of the troops stand down, and Flynn says the head of the southern district should be removed, the head of the military should be removed during the investigation. And the New York Times comes out and says, actually, the army says they told Netanyahu a year before of the plan.
Yes.
But then nobody's blaming who did it. So I don't know if it's Netanyahu, whether they didn't tell him. But the point is, they have hundreds of attack helicopters. I've looked it up. They have over 170 Apaches. They've got hundreds of attack helicopters. I looked it up. 10 miles from where that rock concert or rave happened, where everybody got killed tragically, they had a whole bunch of attack helicopters, fueled, ready, pilots sitting around drinking coffee. So a helicopter could have been there in minutes. A few helicopters, when they break through the first fence with bulldozers, could have been there and stopped them. Instead, they let them break through, overrun, go in, kill thousands, grab hundreds, drag them back across right after Biden gives Iran $6 billion, right after Iran. Hezbollah's now taking credit for Hezbollah advising Hamas. They go in, and then Hamas gets elevated around the world, get to be these heroes. Israel gets to get the oil and the gas and push people out of Gaza, send the refugees here. Netanyahu gets a new 9/11, a political distraction. Iran gets to flex their muscles. Wars to help the state. I'm not saying they all work together, but there's a lot of back channel wink going on here. And so bottom line, we know Israel stood down. That is a fact. 7 hours is conservative. Most estimates are 8.5 hours. So you have to understand, the most militarized per square inch country in the world with, the word is 1,000 nuclear weapons, submarines, gunboats, tanks, giant military, huge militia, and it gets worse. 1 month before the attack, the Israeli government disbanded the local security companies that the kibbutzes were paying for in the area. I mean, this is 9/11 all over again. A definite stand down, and it's disgusting. And I'm not an anti-Israel guy. I don't think Israel should be destroyed. I don't believe from the mountains to the sea stuff. But at the same, and I don't believe, in Hamas or Hezbollah or the Muslim Brotherhood. What I'm saying is, this is some very sophisticated crap. There's no way Netanyahu sees the attack 30 minutes in, an hour in. He's told. He doesn't order military. Default drills is launch helicopters, launch jets. None of that was done. It took them. Sorry, go ahead.
No. So what we've postulated here is that they wanted the reason why they funded Hamas in the first place instead of the PLO. It was to divide and conquer because their plan was always to take over that land.
Israel said that. Israel said in the 90s. You're right. I'm backing you up.
No, he said it in 2017. Netanyahu.
Yeah, he said it.
But the 7 hour thing. Hold on. I just might have been Burmis who told me or someone on this show. I thought that they didn't do anything for 7 hours. That's clearly set up. But what I just got told, and now I'm not sure what's true, is no, they showed up on there. They got their ass kicked and they shot each other because the IDF actually isn't that good. And that's the thing you have to cover up.
Let's be clear. Let's be clear. Some IDF showed up. There were some people there, but Hamas knew the codes and where the Shin Bet and Mossad sub bases were hidden in houses and then killed the Shin Bet people hiding under beds. Remember that?
Those
So
were Shin Bet?
I'm not going to disagree with you. Absolutely. But it's also true. It is true that the Israelis did blow up some of their own buildings and kill some of their own people. That's true. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh,
So you would agree with our assessment then that this was all kind of a plan that Netanyahu has had and the Israelis have had to go out and take over Gaza and take over the West Bank. And part of that is because there's a $500 billion in gas and oil underneath, but the other half is they just want it and they want to get rid of those people. And so they set this up. That's why they funded Hamas. That's why even the New York Times headline is suitcases full of cash. They used diplomats from Qatar to do it. And so, and people don't know this, that they go, oh, you support Hamas? No, I don't support Hamas. Israel supports Hamas. Netanyahu's literally supporting Hamas with suitcases full of cash. And why would they do that?
Yeah, let's be clear. You are 100% right. We don't support Hamas. The Israeli government supports Hamas. And that's on record. And in the 1970s, the Palestinian Authority was getting its act together. They wanted a group to be more radical. This is admitted to discredit the whole thing. And so Israeli intelligence created Hamas, just like our government in the early 1980s and really 1979 created Al Qaeda, created the Mujahideen.
Right.
So it's the same story. You got to create. Yeah.
Yeah. So a lot of people. So if you. I mean, so there's no disagreement then on exactly what's going on. And so what would you say the solution is then? I mean, what is there a solution? Because my solution would be the United States pulls the plug on the funding of that, and then it's over. Israel has to become a good neighbor to their the other Arab states, instead of what they have been now is genocidal, ethnic cleansing maniacs, and doing it under the guise of that we were attacked.
Well, I mean, I would say Israel is just taking a page out of all the other colonial governments. And I'm not saying Israel doesn't have a right to exist, but yeah, it's just like Ukraine. It's good for the Israeli defense contractors. It's good for the U.S. defense contractors to just have an endless war, endless taxes, just like Ukraine. That's all this is. And it also gives all the Arab countries somebody to point at. And so these governments all need a boogeyman. And so the Muslims and the Arabs need the Jews, and the Jews need the Arabs to keep control of their own populations. And I agree. People say I'm anti-Semitic when I say this. I agree with Senator Rand Paul. I don't want to send aid to Israel. I don't want to send aid to anybody for military issues. If somebody gets hit by a hurricane or a typhoon or an earthquake, let's send aid. Let's send humanitarian aid. I want us, of course, we're an empire, so we can't do that. I want us out of the business of shipping weapons to anybody. We should be exporting products and ideas and jobs and culture and make all these foreign countries so great and so wonderful that maybe I'll go live in one of them because they're cool. Part of the year. I want all these countries doing well, and I want the world doing so well that we can welcome in all these people so they're not going to be exploited. But you bring in a bunch of totally dirt poor people, they're going to be easy to push around. And so that's why they want them here. So yeah, exactly. And yeah, I mean, Israel is as crooked as a dog's back leg, but so is every major government. So I'm not even defending Israel. I just have this issue with people that fetishize Israel, obsessing on it all day. Now people should be obsessing on it because I get arguments from the pro-Israeli lobby. Well, you're saying we're carpet bombing it. This is precision bombing. BS, it's not precision
They
bombing.
said Dresden. That wasn't no precision bombing. Well, they aimed at civilians. Maybe that's the precision.
Yeah.
Well, that's another thing. What's going on over in Israel? They should look in a mirror. Because Hitler was bad. He killed a bunch of Jews and other people. And I literally see these people on Israeli TV, mainline TV, going, well, hell, Netanyahu quoted the Bible where they say kill the women, the children, and their animals. And they're literally on national TV saying, I can't sleep at night. I love watching those buildings blow up. And that's killing civilians. Oh, and here's the thing. Where is Netanyahu, like Trump did, killing the Iranian general? Trump didn't bomb the Iranian public. He bombed the Iranian general that they said was behind stuff. Maybe that's right. Maybe it's wrong. The point is, why didn't Netanyahu say day one, we're going to kill all the leadership of Hamas and we're going to send in assassins. And the Israelis used to be good at this. I don't know if they're good now. And go in. You've got the leaders of Hamas aren't even in Gaza. So if Netanyahu would have said, I'm going to go kill the leaders, and I'm gonna have the UN cut aid off or whatever. That's what you and we're gonna hunt them down and kill their leaders. That's what you do. But no, imagine if Israel wouldn't have struck back and would have been Christ-like and said, we're not going to flatten Gaza, and we want the hostages back, and we're gonna go after the leadership of Hamas. The whole world would have turned to Israel, and it would have been a PR disaster for Hamas and the Muslim Brotherhood. But just like Obama ran the Arab Spring and all that, there's another side to all of this too, that they're cooking up for a bigger war.
Jesus didn't pay the Romans to nail him to a cross. There's a little bit of a difference. Israel responded by not funding them anymore like they did for 20 years.
Yeah.
No, I know. You're totally right. I was hypothetical if Israel hadn't have founded it. What I love about Israel is the chutzpah. Because, in the CIA, they don't brag about, we created Al-Qaeda. We had to find it out.
Blowback.
Israel's like, aren't we smart? We created these guys to be really bad so the Arabs could never have a civilization so we can keep blowing them up. I mean,
it's called blow forward. We do blowback. They blow it forward.
Yeah, it is that talk about chutzpah. They just say it right out what they're doing. I've showed the head of their intelligence agency saying it on television. They don't make it a secret. It's wild. I don't know what that is. Maybe
so I'm not enemies of Jews. There are a lot of Jews, that are against all this, just like there are a lot of Chinese that are against, Mao Zedong or Kim Jong-un or, in North Korea. But I also just want to say, look in the mirror, man. You don't want to dress up in a Nazi uniform and start hailing Hitler here. Yep. This is not good for you. I mean, I'm telling the Jews and the ones in Israel that support it. I mean, look at Netanyahu, super unpopular, basically a revolution on his hands. And then this magically happens. And he says, yes, there was a bad failure in security. We'll look at it when the war is over. But now they say the war is never going to end.
Yeah.
So what does Netanyahu not want us to know?
That's right. Okay, well, all right. I'm glad we had this conversation, Alex. I really appreciate you giving us 3 hours of your time today. I'm glad we could finally officially one-on-one bury the hatchet and get over.
I was never mad about you spitting on me.
Okay, good.
but I loved it. But let me be serious here. No, it was all part of the circus. It cooled me off. But the point was, it was right in my mouth. It was like, oh yeah, Uyghur, right in the mouth. But just this last point. It's catty for a show to go on another show and say, tune into my show. But I've been in the phantom zone. I'm bankrupt. I'm trying to keep my crew employed. I think we're doing important work. We're a symbol of free speech they want to shut down. I am on weekdays, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Central. We have other great shows. Owen Schroyer, Harrison Smith. We got reporters in the field. We're trying to get back out there. People can find my show at Infowars.com/show or follow me at Real Alex Jones on X. And Jimmy, you and your great crew have all got to come to Austin. Back when we get back on our feet, we'll fly you here, put you up. We're getting back on our feet very soon. My bankruptcy's going well. It's almost over, and I'll be able to operate again and actually have funds to do things. But I want to invite you here to Austin. You go to Joe's Club, hang out with him, do his show. After you do his show, please come to my show. I want to invite your whole crew. I'll pay for you all to come here. We can change the background to your background. And we got 2 other studios that are generic. You're welcome to come use this place. I'm a big fan of yours, and I really appreciate you.
I appreciate you saying that, and I look forward to meeting you in person in Austin, and we'll certainly do something like that. And just
one last little quick thing. When the New York Times, the Washington Post, and all of you at Jones Jimmy Dore Love Fest, look, we're just loving free speech and open discussion. Doesn't mean we agree on everything. And it's about free speech and our victories over the tyrants. And it's good when the New York Times attacks you. They promoted WMDs. They have blood on their hands. Every time the media says Alex Jones is evil for stuff he didn't even say or out of context, say, okay, did he lie about WMDs and kill millions? Or every time they say Jimmy Dore is a Russian agent because he doesn't want a nuclear war, tell them, F you, I want to live. Your crew's awesome. We love you.
Okay, right back at you, Alex. Thanks again. And show your book. Show your new book. There it is.
The new one is The Great Awakening, Defeating the Globalists and Launching the Next Great Renaissance. This one went to #1, but it came out in the late summer. That's easy to go to #1 then. It's very hard around Christmas. It's gone to like 25. It's gone to #1 in a bunch of charts for like politics. It's The Great Awakening. This is the plan to the Death Star, the Great Reset, and the War for the World. This is the actual attack on the Death Star, and then defeating the empire after that, to use a cheesy Star Wars analogy. This is to finish the war and then build a new civilization.
Come see us do a live stand-up show. We'll be in Venice, California, Palmdale, California, Omaha, Des Moines, Milwaukee, Lansing, Bend, Oregon, Portland, Oregon, Seattle, Washington, Boston, Massachusetts, and we're going to Europe. Do you live in Europe? We're going to be there. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for all those tickets.